All right, y'all, don't swing on me. Do not swing on me. I feel like two sides can be. I feel like two things can be true. I feel like both sides, in my opinion, had instances where they were wrong. And when I'm talking about both sides, I'm talking about Liv and Kaylor. Liv and Kaylor. But we'll get to it. I already know my comments could get a little nasty based off of my opinion, but you know that's uncharted. That's not uncharted territory for me. But thumbs up the video, y'all. Subscribe if you're new. Do that because, as y'all know, the Love Island Season 7 reunion is coming on Monday. I will be here on YouTube Monday after the reunion. So do that. Love Island Games, y'all know that's coming September 16th, so I'll be there for that as well. Stay locked to the channel. Hit subscribe. Do that. Turn the post notifications on all. Thumbs up the video. Drop your comments. Share the video. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know what it is. Let's get into this because this probably was the best episode, which shout out to Tammy Talks. As Tammy said in her recap a couple weeks ago, when the cast, because the cast hasn't always been all together, like the ensemble cast all together in these scenes where they're forced to interact together, that's when the scenes start to seem more genuine and we get more authentic moments and things that aren't necessarily boring. So yeah, this was more of a more entertaining episode because there was stuff to talk about. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go. All right, so the episode starts off with a little montage of everybody packing to get to Miami. They ended up getting to Miami. Kaylor, she's in the car with Leah and Miguel. And Leah's pretty much asking her how her and Liv are at this point. And she's like, I mean, Liv texted me when my grandma passed, which rest in peace to her grandmother. Her grandmother passed, which is very, very sad. But she's like, we're fine, but we're not the same at this point. Liv is in the car with Kendall, Connor, and Aaron, and they're pretty much talking about how they texted her their condolences about her grandmother passing. We then get a scene of Serena and Kordell. They finally arrive. Serena loves that he flew in from Miami to be with her on his birthday because their schedules haven't really aligned, so they finally have gotten a chance to spend time together. They got the penthouse suite. When they get to the hotel, they got the penthouse suite better than everybody else's, and it's deserved. It's deserved. They got a nice view. Serena's ultimately sad, though, because Kordell will have to leave tomorrow. He's going back to go film the show. And, yeah, this is their first time being able to actually celebrate his birthday together. Because, as we all know, last season, I think Kordell's birthday was before they moved into the villa. So this is their first time actually celebrating his birthday together. But Kordell's trying to get lit. Kordell's trying to have a good time. It's his birthday. No drama. He don't want that shit. Do y'all think that's what happened? But Kaylor and Torrin, we find out that they have went public with their relationship. Y'all tell it that they are still together to this day. Good for them. But we get to the group dinner, which is at this place called Kiki or whatever. So everybody's arriving. And the B characters were there first. When I say the B characters, I'm talking about the Connors, the Aarons, the Kaylors, the Livs, the Kendalls. They're all there. PPG starts arriving individually. So JaNa and Kenny, they come in next. JaNa is surprised that Kaylor even came on the trip considering everything and how fresh her grandmother's passing is. But JaNa pretty much lets them know, too, it's Kordell's birthday. Because Connor was at the head of the table, which, if it's not about you, you don't need to be at the head. So I agreed with JaNa pretty much saying, we're going to move this shit around. Like, this is Kordell's birthday. We're going to make it all about Kordell. Did they make it all about Kordell? No, but we'll get to it. But she changes the seating arrangements, and she tries to put Aaron and Kaylor next to each other. Kaylor don't want that, obviously, because of their Saddle Ranch fight, and she don't want the drama tonight. But Aaron, he then states that he wants to talk to her about the Saddle Ranch shit, but he knows that she's pretty much dealing with what happened with her grandmother, and he just wants to play it chill at this point. So Kordell and Serena, they arrive. Kendall hugs Serena. That was interesting. Serena gave him like a little, you could tell she just did it to be cordial. Leah and Miguel, they finally arrive, and then Serena makes her toast to her man, and Kordell gives a little speech. They toast it up, throw them shots back, and they start getting their food. So Liv and Kaylor, they're sitting next to each other. JaNa starts talking about Kendall's date, asking him how the date went and whatever. And he's talking about it's not really going well at this point. She's cute, but I need somebody who's going to make me piss laughing. I said, it's not going well because, A, you're not attracted to that woman. Let's keep it real. You don't like black women. So not only that, you showed up to the date late. That's strike number one. Number two, like I stated, you don't like black women. The girl is too cute for you anyways. If you asking me, any normal man that's actually attracted to somebody that looks like her would actually be able to try and make something work. It's like you weren't really giving her anything. So what could blossom between that? And we all know that it was literally staged for the show. Like, come on, Kendall, let's keep it real. But you also made her drive far as fuck to come see you. Like, that's why a lot of that shit didn't make no sense. But Kendall claims that his conversation with Nicole made him realize that he doesn't want to have any doubts early on. And he already has doubts with Alana, so he doesn't want to pursue it going forward. Yeah, okay. But Leah then asked about his conversation with Nicole. So he then states it went better than he expected, and Nicole apologized for how she handled the reunion. Again, Nicole was the only one that apologized. Why didn't you apologize for lying to her? Why didn't you apologize and take accountability for your part in it? It was all on Nicole, yet you sat there and acted like the victim, the whole victim in the whole situation. The only thing that Kendall was a victim in was the exposing of what was private. He still didn't own up to the fact that he continued to lie to her. He didn't. He still sat there in that conversation, still lying to her. So, like, that's why Kendall gets nothing from me. But Liv pretty much asked, Liv ends up asking if he felt like it was genuine, and he says he thinks that it is. Leah says, yes, I do feel like she was genuine. I do think that she does care about you. And I'm glad Liv and Serena and Kaylor actually backed Nicole. Liv looked stupid in this moment, and she looked very petty. But Liv says that she doesn't think that it was genuine. She feels like she only had remorse because of the show and the cameras. I said, don't piss me off, Liv. Do not piss me off. But she states that she feels like Nicole only felt bad because of the cameras and says that it was convenient. I said, Liv, shut up. Just shut up. Like, you could tell Nicole didn't want that, though. That's the whole thing. It's like she's trying to make it seem like Nicole is a malicious person, and she wanted to do that and wanted to hurt him. How about you think about how he triggered her? How about you think about that? How he was lying in a relationship? How about you think about that? But Leah then states, like, people handle things differently. Kaylor says that she agrees and doesn't think that Nicole was being malicious. And she also states that she regrets unfollowing Nicole, even though she didn't appreciate how she moved at the reunion. In my opinion, I still feel like she wasn't wrong. I was shocked how many of y'all agree with me. I still don't feel like she was wrong. I will die on that stick. But Leah, she states that, like, I feel like she did what she did at that reunion out of her emotions. And it's true. Like, people want to give other people grace for how they feel about certain things and acting out of emotions. Why can't y'all give her that? Why can't y'all give her that? The only person that at the reunion gave her that grace was Serena. And Serena states too, like, watching the show, being there, living the show, she never had that type of energy on the show. It only happened at the reunion, which pretty much is backing what Leah had stated. And she was like, I'm not saying that she went about it in the right way, but we've all done weird shit, Kendall. But Liv then states, like, there's a time and a place to have the conversation, and she chose to have it at the reunion, which is very rich considering everything else that happens. Because like I said at the beginning, two things can be true. Yes, Liv said what she said, and what she stated can be true. Yeah, there's a time and a place. I honestly feel like the time was to have it at their reunion, honestly, considering the fact that Kendall continued to allow America to think that she was doing him dirty when everything was happening. He didn't squash any of that. He didn't at least make a statement or at least state, no, get off of Nicole. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. He sat there and let the shit happen. So guess what? She brings it to public. Like, we going to be at this reunion. We're going to talk about the shit. You don't want to talk about it and air the shit out and block people from thinking that I'm the reason as to why we're not together. Why don't you tell them what's really happening? So we're going to have this conversation now. I'm not going to sit here and be awkward and not give anything, not give any information because we're on the reunion and you don't want to talk about the truth. So that's how I feel. But Kaylor states that she agrees, but the same thing, talking about how she agrees with Liv, talking about how it's a time and a place with Nicole with the reunion. But she says, yeah, I agree. It's the same thing with this motherfucker, talking about Aaron. Now, this is where I'm talking about it with Kaylor. And let me preface this. Yes, Kaylor is going through a lot. But when you go through a lot, it does not give you the right to treat people like shit. Let me make that very clear. I don't care for Aaron, but it is clear that man is depressed. Yes, she is going through what she's going through with her grandmother, and she has every right to grieve that. And I do feel like there are certain moments where you don't talk about certain things that could trigger her because she's still going through and still processing it. I understand that. But also you have to take into account too that Aaron is depressed. That man has been depressed since they started filming this season. And I'm stating that now because Kaylor stated something that made me realize, okay, well, why don't you do the same thing that you want from Liv? But we'll get to it. But she states that. And then again, I was sitting there thinking too, like, I thought you was moving past that. Like, why are you bringing up the fact that Aaron did what he did? I thought you was moving on. You are in a relationship with Torrin now. Why do you still care about this shit? But we'll get to it. But Liv says, I love you to death, but it's the same situation with me and you. Like, pretty much wrong time to do it because when you address me, It was during when the camera started rolling for Beyond the Villa. That's basically what she was stating. So Liv then states that it's a time and a place. Kaylor says, but the same thing was you knowing that I was going to be coming to lunch with you and JaNa when I didn't know that you was going to be there. So basically, like, yeah, you was doing it for cameras too. They both were getting each other because Liv had a point, but Kaylor had a point there as well. So Liv then states, like, if you're going to come at Aaron, that's basically why I stated what I stated. And Kaylor says, like, if you're going to do, like, if you want to do this right now, do it. So Liv then, and they start getting ready to start going back and forth at this point. And Liv claims that she's trying to put her feelings aside for Aaron because she doesn't want him to feel alone. Which, like I stated, when it comes to depression, that's what I'm thinking she's thinking in the moment. Because clearly he feels alone. Clearly Kaylor took a shot, stating what she stated. Yes, it was valid and it was relatable in the moment, considering the topic at hand. But Kaylor has been taking shots at Aaron the entire season. Let's keep it all the way a buck. From the time they started, she has been doing things to get a rise out of Aaron when it's clear Aaron is depressed. Like, it is clear he's been depressed. Has she cared about that? No, because she still wants to get a rise out of him. Like, rubbing that torn shit in his face. Like, you know that man is not all the way right mental right now. When I'm saying that, I'm not being shady. I'm stating that he's in depression. He's in a depressive state right now. So, yes, he's on edge. So, for you to sit there and do stuff like that to try and trigger that man, it's fucked up. So, it's like, it doesn't make what's happening in your life okay for you to do that to him. So, hold on. But Liv then states that Kaylor didn't deserve the way that Aaron treated her in the villa, which she didn't. But he doesn't deserve how she's coming at him in this setting, so I'm not going to allow it. I agree with it. But Kaylor then states that it was weird because, like, what Liv was doing was weird. And Liv was like, no, it's not. Kaylor says, you're weird as fuck for doing it. So Kaylor then asks, like, what is your loyalty to Aaron? It's not about loyalty to Aaron. It's just the fact of being a decent human being at this point. Like, that's really what it is. But you can tell Kaylor wants Liv to basically shun Aaron. That's what she meant by stating that. Like, let's keep it real. Liv then states that she's loyal to Kaylor. Kaylor says, let's not do this because everybody knows I got so much shit going on right now. Let's do it in like 5 or 6 days. My grandma just died. I'm not trying to guilt trip you. Yet you just did what you did to Aaron. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you sitting there pointing the shit on Aaron when Aaron wasn't even doing nothing. Aaron was sitting there minding his business, yet you still found a way to take a shot at him. Now, when Liv throws it back your way for the same thing that you did to her, now it's, oh, well, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me because I'm going through something. You are, but so is Aaron. Like, everybody else is going through shit in their lives too, but you can't just sit here and act like you're the only one. And you can't be talked about when you're doing stuff. When you're doing something in the moment that warrants a response, but we'll get to it. But I understand too that, yes, it is the time and the place. Did Liv have to state it in the moment? No, but I'm going to get to it in a minute though. But Liv then states that you are guilt tripping to me. I've been here for you. But if you're going to come at him for not choosing to have the conversation at the right time in the right place, I'm going to tell you the same thing because you did it to me. So they're pretty much all doing the same thing to each other. But Liv states that Serena then says that she's trying to figure out if Liv is even joking. But at this point, I'm trying to make sure that there's no drama going on because I'm sitting here thinking about Kordell because I told him that there was going to be no drama happening at his birthday because Kordell don't like that drama. So Kaylor says to Liv that you rude as fuck and it's inconsiderate. Like I stated, yet she want to call somebody inconsiderate, yet you're being inconsiderate the entire season when it comes to Aaron's depression. And it's like, yes, it makes sense. Two things can be true. Yes, could Liv being inconsiderate in the moment? Yeah. But is she not being inconsiderate to Aaron? Yes, like she is. But Liv then asks how she's being inconsiderate. And Kaylor tells her, like, you're out of line. It's disgusting. And she states in her confessionals that I'll freak out because I'm grieving and I'm going through a lot right now. And she just needs to respect it. And I said, just because you're going through a lot doesn't mean that they can allow, like, same thing I just said. I'm not about to keep repeating. But Liv states, like, this is a taste of her own medicine. So Kaylor then starts getting emotional now. Please don't fucking do that. Be self-aware. Liv then says, I am, but you're being a hypocrite going at him over something that you did. Is it the right time to say it? Maybe not. Considering what she's going through, maybe not. But is she wrong? No, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. But Kaylor then tells her to not look at her. Now she's getting irritated. And Liv looks to JaNa and says, like, what did I do wrong? JaNa pretty much says, let's just switch seats at this point because they sit next to each other. So Kaylor then tells Aaron that she wasn't trying to come at him and she does really care about him. She starts crying. Aaron is giving her the benefit of the doubt. Like, she just took y'all gonna say, oh, it was just an example, but it was a shot. Like, come on, let's keep it real. She did what she did because she wanted to take a shot at Aaron. But Aaron is giving her the benefit of the doubt because of what she's got going on. But she gets up and she starts crying, stating that she needs to go home. JaNa says, you're not going home is not an option. JaNa, yeah, it is an option. She does need to go home. If she needs to go home because she hasn't processed what's going on with her grandmother, let her do that. She doesn't need to be in a space where she's this riled up right now. Clearly, it's not a healthy place for her to be in. So, yes, she does need to go home at this point. But Kaylor then says that she doesn't want to be here. Kordell and Serena, being the saints that they are, they go over there and they're comforting her. Kordell pretty much tells Serena to go take her to the bathroom. Serena and Leah go walk her to the bathroom. And she's stating as they're walking over there that Liv was calculating in evil for that. And I'm like, for holding you accountable. But, I mean, I get what you're stating in the moment. But Liv then tells the rest of the table that she's not going to sit there and let Kaylor come for Aaron when she did the same thing to her. So Kaylor's now telling Serena and Leah that if Liv truly loved her, she wouldn't have done that to her right then and there in that moment, knowing what she's going through. Now, Miguel and JaNa, they're pretty much telling Liv, like, the timing was bad. That's just really what it is. It just was not the time and the place for you to do it right now. And Liv was like, but don't come at somebody about some shit that you did, which I agree with. But I also see their point, but I also agree with Liv. Liv then states that she said it in the moment. This is right here where this is why I stated what I stated. Liv literally said in her confessional what I was thinking. She said, because if in the moment, she said, I said it in the moment because if you bring it up later, you'll be looked at as nitpicking or throwing it back in her face. That is the fucking truth. That's why I always state, if I'm feeling something, because I've always been this way. If I'm feeling something, whether I feel like it's the right moment or not, and there's already tension between the two of us, if you do something in the moment that I feel like I need to call out and need to address, I'm going to do it in the moment because, like she stated, if I wait 2-3 months down the line to do it, then it's going to be like, oh, well, you bringing some shit up now that happened 2 months ago. You just sitting here trying to find ways to get me riled up or nitpicking me. That's why you nip shit in the bud when it happens. So I understand where she's coming from. Yes, it might not have been the best time to do it, but I see where she's coming from because at this point, I'm going to clock it in the moment so that you know why I said what I said. To know that my intentions are not necessarily to hurt you. It's just to clock you in the moment. Like, you can't say, oh, well, you didn't say it whenever it happened. Because I'm the type of person, if I do something wrong, don't come clocking me about it 2 months later. Check me in the moment. When I did something wrong, you check me in that moment. I might not like it in that moment. And I might not want to hear it in that moment, but whenever I'm cool and I'm calmed down, I'll appreciate you for calling me out in that moment. Because I'm the type of person that likes to self-reflect. When I do something wrong, like I said, in the moment, I might not want to hear it. I might not receive it. But whenever I calm myself down and reevaluate what just happened, I sit and think, okay, well, I appreciate that person for calling me out because I was wrong. So that's why I see what I see. But Kaylor tells the girls that she might fly back out tomorrow. And Serena's like, no, Kordell's leaving tomorrow. You can stay with me. Like, you can sleep with me. So Kaylor's crying about how she hasn't processed her grandmother's passing. We find out she has some issue with her kidney. And Liv knows. And she says, too, that Liv knows it all. And all of this is just hurtful to me. I'm not going to repeat what I said, but y'all know what I'm thinking. But Liv then states now, because she's crying to Kenny, stating, like, how do you talk about it without coming off insensitive? Like, I never would want her to go through what she's going through right now. And I don't want her to feel like I'm throwing it in her face. And I do want to actually be there for her because I do care for her and I do love her. So they're both going back and forth with their emotions. JaNa is pretty much getting Liv to go to the bathroom to talk to Kaylor. I said, this is not the time, JaNa. This is not the time. Clearly, it's at a head. They're not... Emotions are high. Kaylor is clearly trying to process a lot of shit going on. She's not in the right mental space to even be having a conversation right now. Like Aaron said, she can't really think logically because her emotions are high. I understand it. But JaNa then goes to try and do that. Serena says, not right now, JaNa. It is not right now. This is not our problem to solve at this point. Basically, like, chill. Like, we're not going to do this right now. You just saw what happened. There's no point to keep it going. Table the shit. Let it happen at a later date. So they go and sit back down, and Serena and Leah are sitting down talking. And Serena's like, there was a whole show that I had planned to go on for Kordell right now, but it can't even happen right now because of this shit. Like, what are we doing? So Serena's now trying to get it organized and stuff. And Liv is sitting there venting to Kendall and Connor by the bathrooms. But she comes back to the table, and in this awkward silence, but Kordell's little show comes and squashes the tension. Finally, Kordell's up dancing and being his just jovial self. But that was the end of that. It actually ended on a good note there. But we get to the next day. They have a yacht day, and then they got Meg Thee Stallion's fashion show. So Kendall comes to Liv's place while they're getting ready. And she's like, I feel bad because I don't want her to feel like I am not there for her and don't want to be there and don't care that her grandmother passed, because she's like a second grandmother to me too. Like, she states that Kaylor's family means a lot to her, and that does bother her. But Kendall's like, I mean, Kaylor said things out of her. That's just really what it is. And Liz says, like, I know, but I don't know what to do at this point. Kendall tells her, like, y'all just need to have a conversation and move on from it. So everybody's now moving out to go to the yacht. Kordell is on the plane back to Atlanta to go film the show. So they finally get to the yacht. Serena is me. She's exhausted. She's anxious. She's taking time to herself. And Kaylor, she states that she's going to stay away from Aaron and Liv because essentially she don't want to keep having that drama right now. She needs to process what's going on, and they'll talk when they're ready. But Kaylor ends up going up to the top of the yacht, and she's laying up there at the top, and Liv comes up there. I say, here we go. But Liv comes in there. She's super apologetic. She holds herself accountable for what she did in the moment. She says, I apologize. I don't want you to feel like I was trying to be insensitive, because I feel like you're handling the whole situation with your grandmother passing better than a lot of us could. And she apologized. She keeps apologizing to her. And Kaylor says, like, I mean, that should have, that she also, talking about herself, shouldn't have brought it up. But clearly it affected her. Liv states, like, yeah, maybe it triggered me too, with you throwing it on Aaron, but maybe I was being selfish, and I should have come at you at a different time in regards to that matter. But Liv tells her, like, I just don't want to fight with you. Kaylor agrees she don't want to fight either. And they pretty much, Kaylor then states too that they don't have loyalty to Aaron. And I'm like, that's where you going wrong. It's not about having loyalty to Aaron. It's about just the truth. Like, you can have loyalty to each other, but you can still call yourself out when you're doing something that's shady. Because basically you're doing something that is hypocritical. And Liv is not wrong for stating it and calling it out. But Liv then states that I just don't want you to feel like my loyalty lies with Aaron. But they state that they love each other. They hug it out. They're fine now. Thank God. Hopefully it stays that way, because I'm tired of the crying. I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of the beef. Like, it's stupid at this point. But they head on off to Meg's fashion show to pretty much wrap up the episode. Leah and Miguel, they're not going because she has an important meeting. Serena, again, like me, I'm an introverted extrovert. Y'all get all this extrovert energy for me, but that's built up. Like, I got to have energy to give you this. And it's either something that I'm watching that gives me the energy. I've chilled and have been quiet. I love my own peace and quiet. Like, I'm the type of person that would much rather sit by myself quiet. Like, I love being alone. People be scared to be alone. I love being alone because that's when I recharge my social battery. Like, my social battery, when it dies, it dies. So that's what Serena stated. Like, my social battery is dead at this point. I don't think I'm going to be able to come out. I would love to come out and push through like I normally do, which, again, I can relate because sometimes y'all see some of my bad recaps that I don't like because I am a perfectionist. I push through them. And I'll tell y'all at the end of it, this was not the best one, but we'll get through it. But she says, I just need to recharge my batteries. It's relatable. Meg's fashion show, it wraps up the night. Meg looked good as always. She actually had a moment where she actually talked with them after the show. That was nice to see. And you can tell Meg she a fan of Love Island. Like, she knows what's going on with their season and this past season that just wrapped. So yeah, it was nice. It was a nice little moment. They didn't show, I thought they were filming the show that JaNa did, the show that JaNa did where she walked in the show. I thought they were filming that too, because it looks like they're back in LA next week for the finale. And I was thinking we were going to see a little clip of JaNa's show in Miami, but we ain't see it. At least I don't think we're going to see it. But that was the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Be respectful. Don't tag me up down there in them comments, because y'all know I'm always have an opinion, and sometimes it might be unpopular. But you know I must talk about it. You know I'm going to keep it real and tell you what I'm feeling. But that was my thoughts. Y'all, thumbs up the video. Drop your comments down below. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. And I will see y'all next week for the finale. I will see y'all on Monday for the Love Island Season 7 reunion. And y'all know we're going to get into some things, okay? Peace.